Hello and welcome to the Nerd Age Podcast. This is a show we talk about everything nerdy. My name is Jonah, and I'm here with Corey.
Yo.
Josh.
What's it?
And Mick.
Hello.
Wow. All right, we're gonna jump in to the Acolyte season finale. And if you're watching on the YouTubes, you see this beautiful Yoda trophy. It's gonna go to the person that got the predictions right. Corey painted this. It's beautiful. It's awesome. I'm bummed because I know I didn't win.
Spoilers.
But one of these days. So that's what we're going to talk about, the Acolyte. I know there's going to be several things that are negatives. Let's talk about positives first. Let's just go in, talk about the episode. One guy can start, and then you just jump in, piggyback off whatever they said, and we can just go through it. Josh. I'm giving it over to you first.
Wow.
We're going straight with Choop, because last time I talked a lot and then you didn't talk for a while.
I think for me, the coolest thing about the episode, cameo aside, I think the fighting, which is what's been the coolest thing I think about this series. I think the fighting's done really well. The choreography is good. We're seeing things that are different that we haven't seen in Star Wars before. I know people. And whether you like this or not, who knows? But more of like the kung fu type of fighting, a lot of hand-to-hand combat, stuff like that. So I thought that was really cool. I really liked that fight scene, and I think for me it was like one of the strongest things about the show overall was the fight scenes, and I kind of wish we had a little bit more of that because I thought that was probably the part of the best things in the show. Yeah,
there was some cool, even just the kicking stuff where he reminded me a little bit of the White Ranger in the Power Rangers movie. I was like, there we go. Give me more Power Rangers.
Oh, yeah. It reminded me of like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon is what it reminded me.
That was cool. I just liked, I also liked the choreography of the May and Osha fighting and how it would cut back to the lightsabers. That was cool, and it felt like Star Wars as far as like in Revenge of the Sith and stuff like that, where it's going back and forth between that kind of stuff. So I thought that was really cool. I agree with you. That was probably the best part, the thing I enjoyed the most about the episode. What else, Corey? What did you like?
I like the bleeding kyber crystal. That was really cool. And that's something that we've known about, and I've seen in video games with not Cal Kestis, but he was watching the other guy do it. But the way they did it was really cool. I was like, there's like a little bit of that 180 million right there.
Yeah,
that looks
just
cool.
Animating the kyber crystal and like into the lightsaber. That was dope. Things I liked. That was pretty dope. But I agree with you guys. I did like the fighting, so that is one part of what I liked. I really enjoy the Darth shirtless.
Kamir?
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, Darth, cool guy. I think he was probably like a better redeeming quality of this show in general, and then also he was all right in this episode. But yeah,
what did you think of the? I think two of the bigger things in this series were in this episode were the two cameos we got of Plagueis and Yoda. Did any of those because I thought the Plagueis thing was really cool.
We called both of them, and
I thought it sets up kind of some interesting things. I wish the reveal would have been a little cooler.
I did not like.
The fact that he's there kind of gets me to theorize as a Star Wars fan, like, why is he there? Did he start this whole Osha and May thing? Is he the one that gave the witches the idea? That gives me something to kind of go back and analyze and kind of think about. But I like the cameos. I do wish they were a little better executed.
Yeah. Go ahead, Mick. You haven't said it yet.
Well, I will just piggyback off of what you guys said. And yes, the choreography was definitely very enjoyable to watch, especially when you compare it to the sequel trilogy. Very different way of going about lightsaber dueling. I felt like this was much closer to what we got with prequel stuff. It felt very quick and ferocious, and it felt like there was risk involved, and it was exciting to watch. And you never want to watch a lightsaber fight and be bored. Yeah, I kind of felt that way with the sequel trilogy. So it was fun seeing that. I agree. The Darth shirtless Mr. Biceps guy. He
nice. Darth shirtless.
To me, the beginning of the whole thing with him, like, oh, he was actually this bumbling guy the whole time. That really didn't work for me. But these last few episodes with him just being who he is, I thought he was one of the stronger characters. Yeah, it's hard to find.
So anything new?
It's hard to find. It's hard to find a positive. Okay, if I'm going to be honest.
I thought the beginning of the episode when they're chasing each other through the asteroid field, I thought it looked really cool.
Yeah, it looks cool.
I think everything the stuff, it looked good. Like, that's the thing. Like, one of the things,
I don't agree.
One of the things that
this episode,
what I'm saying, like,
good.
This is the best.
You can tell they spent more money on this one than all the others.
I mean, more so on, like, when you compare it to other Star Wars shows.
Yeah, but they had so much money, dude.
Right.
180 mil,
part of that is because they went to real locations, right? So they're not.
Yeah, they're not on the volume.
So that's what I liked about this, is it felt like the unknown planet.
Yeah, look cool.
Look like they're at a real spot, instead of just like, you can tell these two people are just kind of walking on with stuff in the foreground and everything's. So to me, that kind of stuff was good, but again, I just felt underwhelmed by this episode. Like, we can kind of go into negatives, just because I think we need to kind of talk just how we are feeling about everything. I just feel like.
Oh, so we're doing negatives then.
Yeah, I mean, you guys said there's nothing really good.
Okay, I thought you had more.
For the most part, I think the acting in this series has been good. I think Soul's good. The problem to me is the writing. Like, there's not a character that I'm like, those are bad actors. Even the girls.
You think May and Osha were good? I don't.
Even the girls when they were younger, I thought they did a good job.
The girls were better than the adults.
But even
your blank face on everything, super serious, just this. On most interactions,
a couple of tears dropped,
bro.
But I do feel
not
like
even their own tears. Those
I
are
do
fake.
feel like a lot of the aspects can be blamed on the writing and the execution of it.
And for sure, it didn't do them any favors. That's for sure.
And so that's where it becomes a little unfortunate, because I do feel like especially when you've been given a show like Andor that has amazing writing in it, and then you come to this, you kind of see where it falls short. You're like, okay. The other thing is the storytelling. To me, the more I think about it, the more frustrating I get, because I feel like these characters weren't written with like good storytelling in mind. It was more so just like, oh, we need them to do this and to act a certain way, so they're going to. So forget the fact that Jedi have to go through rigorous training and have to act a certain way, and they're disciplined. Forget that fact, because Soul's just gonna freak out and go for the twins.
Yeah.
And then, Torben's going to be like, I want to go back to this place. So I'm going to, like, all the stuff that Jedi aren't supposed to do, you have them do it for the sake of the plot. And when that happens, there's a disconnect with the story you're telling and the audience. And I just feel like even this episode fell into the same thing, where, again, we have the same thing where May and Osha are going back and forth like, I hate you, I love you, I hate you, I love you, for the sake of what the episode needs. 10 minutes in, they hate each other and they're fighting. Then 13 minutes in, they're like, oh no, now they're kind of on the same page. And then at the end, it's like, well, we're going to have to wipe your mind. It just didn't work for me. It just felt like...
And with like Osha and Soul's relationship as well. Like, they had so much history, more history than anyone. Like, almost like her dad.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm gonna be, I'm gonna help you out as much as I can, to get my sister, blah blah blah. And then by the end of it, 3 episodes later,
that's when it's tough for me.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think that is the hardest. I think the worst part is the writing wasn't strong enough. I actually thought that Osha and May had a good scene at the end, like with them, like having their moment. And I'm like, if your writing was stronger throughout the season that's a payoff moment, but it just wasn't because you're like, oh, okay.
There's no like proper setup to it.
Right. It was just like you said, Jonah, everything was like, I'm going to change my mind because that's what the story demands. We talked about it before on the planet where she's like, I don't need to work for the Acolyte anymore. I'm going to turn myself in. I'm not going to turn myself in after all.
Yes.
Oh no! Now I am going to. Oh, let me fight the Jedi. You know what I mean? Like everything just like switched quickly, and it was similar in this episode too, where all of a sudden now she's like, "Well, I'm going to run away from Soul, but I'm also going to fight." You know what I mean? I'm going to fight Osha because now she's bad, and they did the whole swap thing. So she's wearing black now. Osha's wearing black now. May's wearing white. They've traded places.
Yeah.
And that's an interesting story. And I think it could have been stronger if the writing was better. Like I like that she has the vision. Osha has the vision and says, "Oh, I see May killing Soul." And they're like, throughout the whole series, they've done this thing where they can't tell them apart, right? So we thought it was strange, right? That Soul's like, "May? Osha? Is that you?" And they're like, they're clearly different kids, bro. What are you doing? Yeah. They're different actors. What are you doing, man? But it's for that whole point that they're one person. They're not actually, you can't tell them apart.
They're even sensed through the Force as one.
Right. And so that's interesting. And they kind of lay that out, but the writing wasn't strong enough to make it connect in the end and make it meaningful. It was just kind of like, oh, well, okay, well.
Well, and even that moment where she's like, May's like, "Oh, I want to kill Saul," and then she has the moment, and she's like, "Actually, I just want you to say you're sorry and acknowledge it, and go in front of the Jedi."
Listen
like,
here,
where did this cat?
Listen here, Mister.
And it's just so done weird for the sake so that Osha can hear.
Yeah, I don't get it.
And so is that kind of stuff that
it's
I'm
forced.
Like, yeah, pun intended. It is forced.
And even. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I'm just saying, like, those are moments. Those are moments that need to land, and when you have characters being inconsistent constantly, then you end up, instead of watching the moment and being like, "Oh man, that's crazy," you're like, "How does that make sense?"
Yeah. Wait. What?
Right.
It's even the ending to me was mind blowing, and I was like, "Why are they leaving her?"
Way. Yeah. Why do they have to leave?
Why do they have to leave? And then. Later on, it was like, oh, well, someone mentioned, oh, well, their ship only fit 2 people. I was like, you can throw someone else on top of, like, there's no cargo room. There's
you
nothing.
Can't go and steal the Jedi ship.
Well, it's that kind of stuff.
It's sit on someone's lap, bro. Easy.
Like something so crazy to be like, I'm going to go and train with him, and you're going to stay back here, and the Jedi going to find you. It's
but we're going to wipe your memory.
We're going to wipe your memory so that you don't. It was just weird. No, and why would any of that? Why would they agree to that?
Yeah,
because it was like it just came out of nowhere. Like, and they're trying to get you to have an emotional reaction, but I'm like, I don't.
Yeah, that for me was the problem. I looked at Crystal and I was like, what? Why do they have to leave her? Like, you guys just had a moment where you guys are like. Have a moment where you guys are forgiving each other.
We're one again.
We're one, baby.
But now we're going to be 2 because you don't remember.
This is the problem. I don't know how to tell you this. There's only 2 seats, and I'm hooking up with this dude. Weird. So,
it honestly felt like it was we're going to have a season 2. We need a reason to have a season 2. We need to keep this thing going. We can't just wrap this up nicely. It was
what
such
if
a
she
weird.
Says, "I'll find you." That's great.
Genius.
Then we know that now they're gonna have to find each other again.
Good
We
idea.
just watched a whole season of her finding the other one.
Yeah.
And now it's like, see you later.
It was
it didn't work. I told the boys, Corey mentioned this because you weren't here, but I said the more I think about the Acolyte, it's aged like a fine milk. Like it keeps dropping when I think back about it. Like, why did this happen?
Why did he do? Why did they make that decision? Why did they do that? Yeah, it all falls apart pretty quick.
And if I could go back, and we talked about it on the show where it's like, well, maybe if Soul was like doing the detective work and you got the story every episode with those characters, that would have made more sense. But now I'm even thinking, why would you not introduce elements of Plagueis early on in this series to just have the cameo of him being like, I'm in this cave? I hope what they're doing is saying that he's the one that created Osha and May.
Yeah, that's what
I hope that's what it is. If it's that he found out about them and now he's like, oh, that's interesting, that's going to be stupid and a disservice to Plagueis' character.
Dude,
but if he's the one that did it, then you should have been putting in like little moments, like in the episode where they're the moms are talking, right? And they don't want to tell the Jedi how they created them. You have one scene where there's a dude in a cloak, and you just seen the back of him, and he's talking to the two mothers about don't let the Jedi find out how this was done. That would be easy. Just anything like that.
Hey, what happened here?
You can write something.
It would have fit
you can
because
write
it's the same writing quality as theirs.
But what I'm saying is,
you just made it up in 2 seconds.
You can write something, a scene that you see. He's like, oh, so there's someone there's more to this story about someone, or even a holocron of someone, just like they did with Sidious, where you'd see just the cloak and nothing else and talking. Like that should have been done through this.
Yeah, they should have.
So that it's not just one guy being like, the ship's leaving. All right, I can get out of hiding now. Man, I thought they were never going to leave. They put some tunes on and start sweeping the room. Yeah. He's like, now I can
groove to my jam.
Let loose. Unbutton my pants and act like a slob. It just, those are problems that execution is like maddening. And I do hope for a season 2. But I hope they get someone else to write.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I hope they do it with someone else.
I don't hope they do a season 2 because I'm afraid of what they're gonna do with Plagueis. Like I'm scared of them ruining the potential.
Yeah, and I mean I think it's one of those things that we can still get if they don't do a season 2, we can still get a Plagueis story.
Yes,
because even the way they framed it,
that's a good thing that's come out of this.
It was like your typical like. We don't know what he's going to look like fully, so let's just show you a little bit of his face, and then
like Smeagol, like Gollum
right.
in Fellowship,
right? And they're like, we can leave it up to the team that's going to do that show to figure out exactly what he looks like. But yeah, I think overall, for me, the show's just pretty inconsistent. There's a lot of cool moments that I enjoyed, but it feels like wasted potential overall. And really, it just comes down to the writing. Like the fact that Osha kills Soul so quickly, you know what I mean? Like it's a quick turn, and this happened over and over in the show. It's like just take 1 second and explain yourself.
That's maddening.
It's like no, just kidding. Like, and I think it actually
so that person who like took over raising her at the Jedi,
right? Yeah, and I think it would have been better if Soul actually explains everything because he keeps saying like, "Oh, I was in the right."
Get back to the ship, I'll tell you.
Right, but it's like let him explain it and then let her still make that decision to be like, "No, dude, you messed up. Like, I'm angry at you for that."
No, man.
But for it to just be like, "Stop talking," you're like, "Okay, well, like, I feel like he was in the wrong for what he." Like, he thought he was doing the right thing, and it was still messed up. So she could have still justifiably killed him. But there's a lot of things like that. Or even the one thing that I was like, what is happening right now is Basil.
Dude,
for no reason.
That kid's the dumbest character.
And I saw people.
And I love that guy.
I saw people were like, well, he saw that Soul wasn't in his right mind, and he didn't want to kill May. I'm like, what does Basil care about May all of a sudden?
Yeah.
He was the one that was he tried to kick her out. Remember when he tried to punch her?
Well,
remember that? And he was like, and then freaking little iPod.
That character makes
iPod droid.
Yeah, that character makes no sense.
iPod droid.
That one episode where it's just like basically following Basil around, being like, like you see one character go, and then Basil comes into this
and he looks
like,
around,
and he goes,
yeah.
The next scene is like Soul's doing something. He comes in the back. He's like.
My favorite part.
That's basically all he did.
And then it's like, what are you doing? Now you're after Soul.
It would have been so much better if he like broke out like, "Hey guys, relax." You know, like he just spoke in perfect English.
Denzel Washington doing his voice.
Yeah.
Well, he comes awesome. Out of the planet, and the other guy's like, "Basil, what are you doing here?" And I was like, "You got some explaining to do, bro. Like, explain what you
Basil's
did."
Like, first things first. I went with these guys, and it was nuts. Like they killed everybody. Yord got his neck.
Well, he should know all that. And if anyone actually speaks whatever Yord spoke, he's like, "Oh, I studied this instead of Sheerwick or whatever." Yeah. They're like, he can tell you everything that happened, but they're just like, I think the only thing that makes sense He's the Sith Lord.
Yeah,
that's the best.
He's Tenebrous.
That makes everything
He's Tenebrous.
okay. And if they would have done that, I would have bought it. I'd have been like, yeah, I'm there.
Genius writing.
Jumping back to a scene I did like that I thought was cool is when she has the helmet on, the first scene.
Oh, that was cool.
And then she kind of does a, and he like can't take the helmet off, and his eyes go black. Like I thought that was cool.
Yeah,
and that was a cool way to start the episode. But then unfortunately, the stuff just I don't know. Even just ending with, I hate when it's like we're Sith lovers.
The power of two.
You know, like it's like this dude just murdered all the people you cared about.
No, it makes no sense. Yeah.
No, she doesn't care.
He was macking on your twin sister, and then when she didn't do what he wanted to kill her, and then he's like, but maybe the sister will pay
But now she has someone that she can actually love and will love her back.
And so that to me was just kind of like that. Again,
you can find anyone else. It doesn't have to be a Sith Lord.
You don't set the groundwork for these decisions to be like, oh, I agree with that, or I see where she's coming from. It's just more like, okay, we got the Sith lovers that
it was only 2 episodes where he murdered everyone, and then she went with him and had the opportunity to fight and kill him. Yeah. But for some reason she didn't.
She saw him naked.
She saw him naked. That is true.
That is a huge thing.
I hated that. I was just like, what is going on? Why is she all of a sudden a different person?
Because when you see someone naked for the first time, it changes your life.
It's life changing.
Especially a Sith. Especially a Sith. Have you ever seen a Sith naked?
No.
There you go. Life not changed.
It is kind of funny because
how do you think Sheev Palpatine got all the people in the Senate?
I don't know.
Dude would have parties.
That robe is easy to whip off. Get out of that
hot tub. Oops. And they're like, dang, that's a Sith bod. Changes your life.
I'm
just saying, it's canon. Check it out. Look it up.
Check it out. I don't want to.
George Lucas said this himself.
Oh, man.
I might have gone too far.
I think it is funny that they do bring attention to that. Like, he's like, yeah, you're not like your sister because she made that decision right away. I'm like, she didn't take much longer to make it.
Seriously.
It was pretty close.
It was like a ship
and what is this?
In a day.
And what is this? Are they a different person or are they the same person? Because if they're the same person in 2 different bodies, then they should be making the same decision.
I think they did a really bad job of explaining that. I think what it is it's just you got cloned by the Force. Because they're exactly the same via DNA.
But they
M count. No, I don't know. But every aspect of them is the same. So it's like, it just seems like forced cloning, I guess, of the same person. It's weird.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Clone us.
That's all I have to say.
I'm just wondering.
I don't know. Is that what you said?
I said, meh.
Is Dave Filoni vetting this?
No. This was before.
So this was before.
Really?
He read the scripts and gave the okay after he became in charge.
That's crazy.
He was like, this is too far gone.
But
he probably had a gun to his head. But how long? Basically like, hey, we've invested X amount of dollars. Do you okay this? And he's like, yeah, I guess.
I mean, think about it, though. It was already going to come out. He took over when it was already like a few months
in
away.
the can, yeah.
Blood's on his hands, that's all I'm saying.
No, and I think...
Fire Dave.
I think there's... I think there's ways to make this show work if they handle Plagueis in a certain way. Like if in next season or a new show, we get the Plagueis show, and welcome back to the Plagueis show. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. And then it shows the backstory about him doing these Force experiments, trying to create life, and one of those experiments is Mayanosia. I think that would be like, oh, that's the story that we saw in the Acolyte. That makes sense. Like he was,
but he very specifically hides in crevices all the time.
Yep, in the shadows.
He's like, originally I was going to be called Darth Crevice.
yeah, that's a good one actually.
But I thought Plagueis rolled off the tongue much better.
I will say,
crack in the earth.
I will say, I did like how they represented him. It wasn't like full fledged, but
he looked good.
It seemed like he
pretty cool.
Looks pretty good and pretty accurate to kind of
long need a Sith that looks scary. Like he looks like menacing and scary.
I think he looks I think it's awesome.
So Sheev Palpatine just doesn't look that scary to me. I mean I don't know. We got to get back to like cool looking
scary.
That's
cool
probably one of my
Sith,
Count Dooku didn't look scary. Didn't look.
What? He looked cool though.
Count Dooku?
Do you know who Christopher Lee is?
Yeah, but...
You know what that is?
But he doesn't look like a cool Sith to me.
Sure he does. He looks like a cool, distinguished gentleman.
Cool. Does he look cool?
Christopher Lee?
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
As Dooku? As Count Dooku?
Corey, you gotta help me here.
Nah,
when
man.
you watch those movies, you were like, "Oh my gosh, we got 3 movies of Vader. Like that guy looks sick." And then they're like, "Count Dooku." I'm like, even the name sucks. I'm sorry, but the name sucks.
Hey,
and the
that's
look.
not his name. His name is
Darth Tyrannus.
It's Darth Tyrannus.
Yeah, but they never say Darth Tyrannus.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, okay. How many they say Dooku way more than they say?
You said
Darth
that's not
Tyrannus.
his name, and then you said they don't say it, and those are all true things.
Okay, they say it like once, don't they?
No, they say it multiple times.
It's always Dooku.
Not a lot.
And it's a Dookie name. And we need to get back to Sith looking like Sith.
Sure.
I mean, yeah.
Long alien face.
Yes,
Yeah.
with red eyes.
He had, I think, one of the coolest lightsabers. His lightsaber is one of the coolest.
Dooku's?
Yeah,
The
dude.
banana.
Check it out, bro.
See, we even call him Dooku instead of Tenebrous because they don't use it that much.
yeah, of course.
It's not Tenebrous. It's Tyrannus, dude. This guy doesn't know any. This guy doesn't know Star Wars. This guy doesn't know Star
I
Wars.
call him Darth Sir Shirtless, bro. It's whatever's easiest.
I call him Darth Saruman. Okay.
He looks better as he works more menacing as Saruman than he does as Dooku.
Is it the
He's got
beard?
the he's got the slicked back hair. It's short. It's just if he had long hair.
Listen, dude. It's
yeah.
not. It's the voice. The Christopher Lee voice is.
It really he did fit the Count Dooku name. You know what I mean? Like he's a count.
He literally played Dracula like multiple
Yeah.
times.
Yeah, I know.
He-
I just wish
he
he would
looks
have
like a
counted.
vampire.
You know.
Sharp teeth? Is that what
Yeah,
you're saying?
he's
Like, that's scary.
Like, oh, 1 droid, 2 droids.
He has lightsaber
3 droids,
fangs like
4
teeth.
droids. 5
Okay,
droids.
I wanted to talk about this because it really bugged me, but I forgot to talk about it earlier. So, what's it, Vernestra? Her whip lightsaber.
Which we found out that she was the
Yeah, Chimere's master.
master.
Yep.
Called it here.
Her lightsaber style is a complete ripoff of Demon Slayer, the anime. There's one of the Dylan's loving this. The Heart Hashira. She has a whip sword, basically. She can bend her sword to a whip. It looks exactly the same.
I mean,
this
she's
came out way earlier.
She's basically just ripping
They
off Indiana
stole
Jones.
it. They
Corey,
stole
it's-
it, bro.
yeah.
Have you never seen a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away? I think this was way before Demon Slayer.
Demon
Is that where
Slayer.
she's from? The writer, the director. Yeah, I was like,
Well, here's the other thing. Here's the other thing that drove me.
what a waste.
That
too.
annoyed me about that. You don't see her in action.
No, they just threw it
cut
in.
a thing once, and then it's like, well, we'll see. And I see some scars, but you never saw her fight. Nothing.
Yeah.
It was just a big old tease.
Didn't fight nothing.
It was like Soul every time being like, "I'm gonna tell you something, not tell me. Gonna tell you something." Here's the other thing that drove me nuts. They did this like 4 times in this episode.
What?
A character says something and then or looks away, and then when they look back, the character's gone. I hated it.
They do
It's like,
that.
come, this is so dumb
they
because
do
it's not realistic. Like she's like, the
love
only way,
that. I
the
love
only
that
way
stuff
in,
bugs you.
the
That's
only
so
way
funny.
in here is through this elevator.
Is it-
She's like,
is it?
Are you sure? And she's like, "What?" And I was like, where did he go?
Can I ask you-
Where did
can I ask you-
Batman. It's like Batman.
He's like-
it's like Batman.
he's
I was just gonna say
It's Batman,
I was
bro.
gonna say, do you like Batman?
Oh,
It's
Do you like
Batman,
Batman?
bro.
But-
Do you like Batman?
and then-
Answer the question. Answer the question. Answer the question. Do you like Batman?
Osha
Do
and
you
May,
like
Osha and May?
Batman?
Osha and May are fighting, and then the ship. She looks up and she's like, "Where'd she go?"
And she's just hiding behind the
That's
corner.
the thing. It's like it doesn't make sense. And then she's all the way over where Soul is. I'm like,
Force
they
teleport.
did it like 3 or 4 times, and
Misty
it just
step.
drove me crazy.
It makes you think of that
Misty
college humor video of "Don't look at."
Yeah.
Yeah, and then like
He's hiding behind the
Basil
corner.
did it a couple times where he's like sniffing, and then they look around. It's like, where'd Basil go? It's like, where does this guy go? And then when they need him, he conveniently is like, hey, over here. I've been sniffing these. Here, smell this underwear. And he's like, over there. You know, it's just that kind of stuff that I'm like, you know, it's like in Rogue One when everyone dies by looking at the camera and then exploding. It's like you did it one too many times.
You want a variety of shots.
Yes.
I agree with you. Batman does suck.
Is there anything else you guys want to discuss
Nah.
about the
Ooh.
season
No, but
finale?
I will say just real quick, the Kyber crystal bleeding was cool, but also the force push block of the 2 lightsabers with
Yeah, when he threw the
His-
boomerangs.
yeah, that was, yeah, lightsaber boomerangs.
Boomerangs.
That was cool. Like that was a cool scene. I didn't like the one where they like fell like romantically off the side, like jumping backwards, and they're like looking into each other's eyes. I didn't like that.
I like that one.
I thought that was so dumb.
I also liked
That was
how
so
they were
stupid.
like cutting through like the bridge when they were fighting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Stuff
was cool.
Yeah, I think
10 out of 10.
Oh yeah, we should rate it.
Here.
Okay, go ahead. We understand.
I want you guys to give it a rating, but then I want you guys to rate it among
the other shows.
Okay.
So, I would probably give this Plagueis.
You got all sorts of noises.
Plagueis helps me push it up a little bit, but I'm probably going to give this a 6 as a whole. I think there's some good things, but at the end, it's pretty disappointing for me. But I still would put Book of Boba Fett as the worst series. I'd go, I think, Book of Boba Fett, Acolyte, Obi-Wan, Mando Season 3.
Oh, we have to rate them by seasons now?
Andor.
All right, I'm not
Mando Season 1. Mando Season 1, and then the best one has been Mando Season 2 because of the Luke cameo is just like...
Just one scene, huh?
Great. No, there's more.
That's all it takes.
That was so sick.
That's all it takes.
It was enough.
But no, that whole season is great. It's probably the best Mando
Maybe
season.
they should have done something like that with Plagueis or Yoda in this one. It would have made it so much better. I mean, yeah, my rating's probably going to be for the whole series, probably like 5.8 or something like that.
Okay.
But amongst everything, I mean, it's near the bottom. I don't know. I don't have everything in my mind of like what series or what, but yeah, I would probably say Book of Boba Fett's below it, but it's pretty far down there. I'm just such a fan of like character development that makes sense and is earned based on like, backstory and relationships paying off. And for this, it's like, it just made just a mockery of the whole process. I just didn't enjoy it. They were trying to make a mockery of the Jedi Order as well. Didn't like that. I mean, it makes sense. They're trying to tell a Sith story, but yeah, it was just kind of it just didn't fit. It just didn't really feel natural for me. But yeah, near the bottom somewhere. I don't know. You guys?
I think it's like a 6.3.
Okay.
Something like that. There were things I really liked, but overall, I think it just mostly just feels like wasted potential overall. And it's towards the bottom. I think Book of Boba Fett's still the worst. I can't get past those biker gang.
Yeah.
It's right above it. Then it's Acolyte. I think it's pretty... honestly, if I'm comparing Obi-Wan and Acolyte, I think they might be close. It's just there's just really cool moments in Obi-Wan that elevate it because we're dealing with Darth Vader and we're bringing Anakin back and Hayden Christensen. So that's what bumps it up because all the stuff with Reva and Reba also.
And Reba
McIntyre.
You've seen the show, you know it. I forgot Ahsoka. I'd put Ahsoka number 2.
Oh, yeah.
Under Mando 2.
We didn't even notice.
Yeah. What about you, Mick? What do you rate?
Yeah, I'd probably put the season at a 6. I think that's pretty fair.
Okay.
Like you guys said, some good things, but I think more bad things. Really just what hurt the show is the inconsistency with the characters.
I mean, 6 is still on the positive side.
That's what I'm saying.
You're not disliking.
It's not like,
Okay, 3.
Yeah, we're not haters here.
So anything under a 5 is going to be disliking it to some degree.
Ooh.
So
I think I would.
did you actively enjoy parts? And
I'll keep it at a 6 because I would say most of the time I really enjoyed Saul.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think he was by far my favorite character.
Yeah.
Even though I wasn't a fan of what they did with him at the very end, I still think he was probably the most compelling.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think my list is probably same as yours with ranking them. I do think Obi-Wan is better than Acolyte, though.
Yeah,
I can't remember where you put that one.
I do too.
Yeah. I think the biggest issue with this show is that it was way too predictable. Every single thing.
Called everything.
Every single thing where you were like, well, maybe it was like, oh, okay, come here, he's the guy in the shop. Oh, Banestra, he's her.
Yeah.
It was all just way too. And
I told you guys too.
Hey,
you guys were like, oh man, it's gonna be so
this
sick.
is supposed to be like
mystery,
mysterious. We're like, oh, who's killing?
That's what they told us.
Detective work.
They said it was Law and Order. Dun dun.
Well, can't believe them now.
Yeah. So, well, that's going to do it for our Acolyte discussion. Hey, we like to say this on the show
it's not
all
over.
the time.
It's not over.
It's not over. But, I feel like we're kind of in the middle, We're the Bendu of the Star Wars universe. We're somewhere in the middle,
I think
we'll say the good stuff that we like, and we'll say the bad stuff. Because I do want to say something. Like, there's so many channels that are talking about whether even before they see
Star
anything,
Wars and
it's like this is the worst thing ever. It sucks. This is the worst.
Well, it gets views.
And then the other side is like, this is the best show ever. We need more of this. This is greatest. She's the Headland is she should give
future
her all of Star Wars. And I'm like, no. Yeah. The reality is it's not the worst thing ever, and it's not the greatest thing ever. It's in the middle, and
it's near
there's
the worst
some things
Star
that are
Wars.
cool, and there's some things that are not cool. And so I feel like on the Nerd Age podcast, we like to call ourselves the Bendu of Star Wars because we'll give you an honest opinion.
Some of us.
And we'll give you some of the good things and the bad things. It's all opinion anyways, but anyways, we're just patting our backs.
We're supposed to give all the Star Wars to Bryce Dallas Howard, because that's what we're giving all the Star Wars to.
That's right. There can only be one woman director. And we already selected Bryce Dallas Howard.
And I think in general, like, we're fans of Star Wars, and so we want to see it succeed.
Yeah.
But like, it's not going to skew our opinion on stuff. Like, we're going to call it how it is,
Yeah, and I think
we're straight shooters.
We're straight shooters.
I think it's much more.
We can't be bought. Yeah, we can.
I think it's much more. I think it's much more like when you listen to someone and their first thing is like they're destroying the Star Wars legacy. Like, and I'm like, well, you watched one episode and you're basing that. It's like, be patient because nothing that they did in this story really undercut the Phantom Menace. Like, Jody Moondy's changing his birthday, all that kind of stuff, or all that. Nothing of that affected how the Phantom Menace works. It actually ended up working out pretty good. Where I'm like, yeah, they don't know it's a Sith because everyone died anyways. So you'll get some real discussion here because we're the Bendu.
Not just pure hate.
So here's our next thing. We do. If you haven't listened to the show before, for every Star Wars show that's live action, we kind of do our predictions before, and then whoever gets it right takes home a trophy. I think who won last? Was it a tie?
Last time
he got a sick Darth Maul.
Yep.
For the Ahsoka show, painted by Corey over there, and so here it is.
Printed by Josh.
Painted by Corey, lost by me.
And won by me.
So this is what we're gonna do.
We all played our part.
Hey, but you made the questions and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's great.
Good job.
So
I think he'd have an advantage.
This is how we're gonna do it.
That's the problem. He makes these crazy questions, and he's like, "Yeah, that's cool. I'm gonna do that."
So right hand is positives. Okay.
Oh, dang, dude!
Bro, are you kidding me,
That's
bro?
crazy. I gotta keep track.
It's all right. And then left hand is negative because the only reason I'm doing this is because I'm going to start with a negative because if you get it wrong, it's a negative point.
Okay.
You lose a point.
Gotcha.
So basically, I'm going to go the question and then I'm going to tell you if you got a point or not. You're just going to lift up a finger. We're going to find out who won live on the show.
Wow. This is live.
Question number 1 was, will Yoda physically appear? Corey said yes. Give yourself a point. Josh said yes.
Yes,
Give yourself a point. Mick said yes. Give yourself a point. I said no. Idiot. So I'm at negative.
To be fair, last second buzzer beater. It was close. It was close.
They probably added that in post.
Yeah.
Is May a twin? We all said yes. So I'm back to 0. You guys are all at 2.
I mean, technically, she's not a twin. They're one person.
That's technically true.
No, but we had said like
it doesn't matter.
Is there two characters? Like, is there two characters? Is what we had said. Like,
yeah. Okay. Jonah just wants
so
to get,
this is one. This is one we're gonna need clarification.
Okay.
We said Plagueis mention show up. Mm-hmm. Now it's not confirmed as Plagueis, but it's pretty much confirmed as Plagueis. Are we saying that's Plagueis?
We'll confirm.
That's 100% Plagueis.
Okay. So now that you guys know that, Corey said no, so minus a point for Corey. Josh said no. What? Mick said yes, and then I said yes. So I'm at 1. Octo.
I changed my mind.
Octo is the planet. It's not the planet, even though it says unknown, but it's not.
Nope.
So Corey said no, give himself a point. Josh said no, give himself a point. Mick said no, give himself a point. I said yes. I'm back.
Dang, Mick's running away with this.
Mick's gonna have the whole collection.
I have a feeling I'm going to be dropping these fingers pretty soon.
Porg, will Porg show up? You guys all got a point, so give yourselves a point. And I said yes.
Why did you do this?
So I'm at -1 again.
Wait, what do I do? I'm at 5.
You can go into that one.
Okay.
Because I'm just saying for me, because I know that I started with a negative.
Okay.
You guys are good.
Okay.
Now. So yeah, keep your 7 different lightsaber colors. We didn't get 7 different lightsaber colors. No. You guys all get a point.
How did you miss that one? How did you miss that one?
Because I was hoping that we were going to get
like a new one.
I thought we were going to get
he wanted a dark saber. I remember him talking about the dark saber so much.
You can get a white saber.
Yeah, he wanted
a black saber. If you get a teal saber, like we're in the High Republic era.
You wanted a white saber? You wanted a white saber?
Darth Bane reference. This is where it's going to get interesting. Oof. Corey said no, so Corey gets a point.
Yep.
Josh said yes, loses a point.
Oof.
Mick said no, so he gets a point. And I said yes, so I'm at -.
What do you mean where it gets interesting? You mean where Mick gets more points?
Well, I'm just saying.
He went down one. He lost that one.
Oh, you did? No, you got up.
No,
he got it.
He got it.
Oh, you said no?
Yeah.
Oh. Dang.
Kelnaka rips an arm or leg off. Disappointed in Kelnaka, absolutely.
Yeah.
Corey, Mick, and Josh all got it right. They said no, so give yourselves a point. I said yes, so I'm at negative. Guys, I'm just not going to do more counts anymore.
No, we want to know how negative.
Yeah, okay, I'm at -4. Okay. Master Soul dies.
Oh, yeah.
Corey said no.
Dang it.
Negative point. Josh said no. Negative point. Mick said yes.
No, he's destroying us.
Are you kidding me?
And then I said yes, so I'm back at -3.
Hey, good job.
Jedi turns to the dark side.
No. She wasn't a Jedi.
Okay, so we all said yes. So
it's
we
moot.
all
lose one.
We all lose one. Over
what?
Over 5 Sith Lords reference. Corey said no. Give himself a point. Josh said yes. Negative point. Mick said yes. Negative point. And I said yes. Negative point.
Dang, dude, I'm going.
What's the score here?
We have the same amount of points.
5.
I'm 1.
No. Okay, 5. You got 7. Okay, Corey.
You're at -5.
I'm at -5.
Polar opposites.
Light whip severs something living. We said like an arm.
Okay.
So
I said yes to this one.
So Corey said yes, so it loses 1. Josh said no. Give yourself a point. Mick said yes, and I said yes. So I'm at -6.
That technically didn't sever anything.
Oh.
We said a human. We said a human.
It
couldn't be like
it severed it.
I'm pretty sure one of those legs of that thing.
We
fell
said
off.
it had to be like a human or like something.
All right.
We're running out of time here. Sith holocron. We all said yes, so we all get a negative.
Oh my gosh!
I'm at negative.
I'm back to one hand.
I'm at -7.
I'm back to one hand too.
I've never been
one
off.
on my hand.
Oh yeah. Plo
Koon appearance. We all said yes, and he didn't appear.
Did they confirm?
Yeah, it was a girl. So I'm at -8.
What was that? Plo Koon. Right? We all said yes.
We all said yes.
Man, we're stupid.
So what's the score here?
4.
4-2. Corey's 2 behind.
Yeah, I can't pull it out.
Over 9 Jedi killed. We all got that right.
Yeah.
So I'm back to -7. Double-bladed lightsaber. We all said yes. So
point.
So yes.
Yeah. Right,
you pulled it was like double-bladed.
Yes, it was.
Yeah. So I'm at -7 now.
Digging his way out.
Oh, things are getting really interesting right now.
This is where it'll get. Yeah.
May the force be with you 4 times or more. They only said it twice.
Yeah, just twice.
Corey said no. He gets a point. Josh said no. He gets a point. Mick said yes. Negative point.
Oh,
Jonah said yes. Negative.
Tied.
You guys are tied, right?
Oh my gosh.
Stupid. We're gonna end with a tie. Reference to the Chosen One prophecy. There wasn't really.
No.
So Corey said yes, so negative point. Josh said no. Give himself a point.
I'm in it, baby.
Mick said yes, negative point.
Oh, a 3-way tie?
And Jonah said yes.
No way. Josh just had a
4-way tie.
Josh had a huge comeback.
4-way tie? Are you kidding me? And then the Force theme.
4-way.
We all said yes. So we have a 4-way tie.
Wow.
This has never happened.
in the history of the 2 times we've done this.
That's crazy.
It's never happened.
So, how do you guys want to?
I'm going to abstain because I painted it. I don't want to have it.
I won last time, so I can abstain. So you too.
I'm at -7. I like the way you're thinking.
You just threw Jonah back in.
Mick just gave me his spot.
You didn't even earn it.
Well, Josh, it looks like
I mean, I guess since I predicted everything correctly.
That was actually crazy how you came back at the end.
I was like, I'm gonna go negative soon.
Those negative, having you get a negative point whenever you.
That's a big swing.
I was up.
It's a big swing.
9.
I
had 9.
Yeah, you started off.
That's crazy.
I knew it was going down.
All right, Josh wins. Congratulations. All right.
What a win.
I don't know how we're gonna do the. I think Skeleton Crew is the next one.
Skeleton Crew's next.
And so that's not really going to be one where you can. I mean, there might be. We might have to do just like, will this alien show up or?
Because we didn't do anything for Bad Batch, right?
No,
we only do live
action.
Yeah, live action.
Too much.
We did Ahsoka.
When does Skeleton Crew come out?
I don't know.
In the fall?
I think it is.
Has to be
end of year.
Oh yeah, Christmas time.
Yeah,
Maybe
it's Christmas time. I think. But yeah. That's
gonna
Christmas. Oh, I guess don't remember about that. Well, congratulations, Josh. That was fun.
Oh, wow, what a nail biter.
That was crazy, actually.
Yeah. Thanks for abstaining, everyone else. Well.
Yeah. Anyways, thank you so much for hanging out with us. We will be back next week with, I think, is it Comic-Con and all that stuff happening?
I think this weekend, yeah.
So we're going to have a lot of like movie news. One of the things that we're going to talk about is apparently some hackers got into Disney through an employee, and they were like,
they hacked into an employee.
They hacked in, and
they hacked his.
He was able, like, he had access to a server. And so they found like all the release dates for stuff that they haven't announced yet. All these movies, and so they're like, they don't know what they're gonna do, if they're just gonna release all this stuff.
They want to get money out of it,
or they want to try to get some money. But they're like, there's emails, there's release dates, there's all this kind of stuff. And there's been news that's been coming out more, I think, because of that. Like one of the news was like they're asking the Russo brothers to do the next 2 Avengers.
Iron
Man. They just announced
Resurrection.
And so I feel like because of this hack, they're like all this stuff. But that's Star Wars, that's all this other stuff too. So we'll be talking about that if any of that leaks. And then San Diego Comic-Con. So make sure you check out the Nerd Age Podcast everywhere you get podcasts. We are on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and we'll be back next week with more of the Nerd Age Podcast. See ya.
See ya.
Bye.